So you're thinking about moving to Northern California and you're not sure exactly where in Northern California to move. You realize the Bay Area is way too pricey and you want California, but you just don't want to pay those crazy prices. Well guys, in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about Sacramento and the Sacramento metro area. I grew up in the Bay Area and I was saying to myself, man, I love California, but it's just becoming unaffordable. I discovered Sacramento. Now, in this live show that we do every single Wednesday at 7 p.m., we're going to talk a little bit about Sacramento, the pros and the cons, why people are absolutely loving the move into Sacramento. Guys, Sacramento is not just Sacramento. It's areas like Roseville, Elk Grove, Folsom, El Dorado Hills. Some of the most amazing spots to live in all of California, in fact, all of the nation. And these are spots that in comparison to Los Angeles and the Bay Area are really affordable. Now, like I said, California is becoming one of those spots that everyone's just assuming that everyone in California is unaffordable. Sacramento still has homes in the 500s, even brand new homes in the 500s. Great communities, great like social stuff going on here. This spot is absolutely amazing. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Sacramento area. We're going to talk about why our location is second to none. We're going to talk about jobs, economy, future growth, and all that kind of fun stuff about Sacramento in general. So if that's you and you're saying to yourself, I love California, I love Northern California, I want to move somewhere in Northern California that's affordable, but pretty amazing, this is the video, this is a show for you. Let's get into it. All right, guys, hopefully you guys are having an interesting evening. The real estate market is cooling a little bit. Weather is changing and we're getting ready for the holiday season. So we're going to talk a little bit about Sacramento and I'm going to come at it from a different angle this show. I want to talk a little bit about my experience. Now, for me, I grew up in Marin County. I lived in San Francisco for a while. I went to school in Los Angeles. So I lived in Los Angeles and Southern California as well too. I've lived in Arizona for a time being as well too. So I've lived in other spots. I will tell you one thing straight up. There's something special about California. Now, you might hate it, the politics, yada, yada, all that stuff too, but there is something very special about California. Now, when I was in SoCal, I was a big Northern California guy. You know, I said, hey, Northern California is where it's at. You know, you guys are stealing our water. It was an inside joke with me and a friend. But for the most part, I loved Southern California as well too. The weather, the beaches, the lifestyle and everything too. So a lot of people, a lot of people come into the Sacramento area where I'm from currently, and they're thinking to themselves, I'm just moving there because it's affordable. That's the main thing that I get from a lot of people call up. We can't buy anywhere else. We want to stay in California, and Sacramento is one of those spots where, it can work for us, right? Now, the thing that's interesting about Sacramento is I think a lot of people actually come here with the idea that that's the only reason why they're moving here. And I think a lot of people were like I was, where I was in the Bay Area and I said to myself, look, I want to buy a house. I just don't want to buy just a regular house. Not even a regular house, just any house, because you know how it is in the Bay Area in Los Angeles, you're just buying whatever you can buy. It's not even like you love it. It's just all about like, I got something, I'm good. I got something. It is what it is. So I never wanted that mentality. That mentality was never something of mine that I really wanted, right? I wanted to have something that, it was a house that I was proud of, a house with like, for me, I grew up in the Bay and, owning a pool in a warm climate, I was like, that'd be awesome. So for me, the thing about Sacramento that I love the most moving out here was the fact that I moved out here because I was thinking to myself, it's just affordable. That's where I'm going to go. Close to Tahoe, close to Napa. It's still a good spot. Didn't know too much about it. Thought it was hot, flat. Didn't really get Sacramento at all too. So I make a move up here too. And I start discovering Sacramento a little bit. I discover the American River, Folsom Lake, Sacramento River. I realized that there's all these little spots, especially during the holiday season, like Apple Hill, that you can go check out. I discovered also all these like golf course communities, which I thought were just amazing. I saw these active communities too sprouting up. I saw a very much like a fledgling area that was developing and growing. And I said to myself, wow, this is pretty amazing. And then I saw the price point on the houses. That was also something that was just like crazy. Is one of those things too. When why I do this channel is normally because I'm not from Sacramento, right? I didn't grow up here. I didn't like, I wasn't born and raised here. I see it more through people who are coming into its eyes, right? Like I see it from the idea of going like, wow, this is pretty cool here. I love California. I don't want to leave the state, but I don't want to spend $2 million for a 1,100 square foot house or a condo or rent for the rest of my life. And so I thought I would move to Sacramento, and I was thinking to myself, Sacramento, I hear a lot of negative stuff about Sacramento. And I was just like, yeah, I'll probably move up there, get a house. It'll be fine, but it's not going to be my dream location. Little did I know, I started discovering Sacramento, the food scene, the people, everything around here too. And I say to myself, like, wow, it was something I didn't expect. And it's something that for me, I'm so lucky I did. The only, negative about it is I wish I would have done it a lot sooner. So I think for people, if you're living in areas like, or in states like Texas and Florida, you're thinking to yourself, all this stuff you heard about California. Oh, California, the politics, the taxes, all this stuff too. But I would say let's just talk politics just for a second. Like, honestly, no one really in the Sacramento area, it's just, you don't really see too much of that, or, at least I don't, right? Some people are blue, some people are red, some people are green, and that's just kind of what it is. It's not, I feel that states like Texas would be a little bit more brutal. Florida would be a little bit more brutal. But I think there's a kind of a mix here in the Sacramento area specifically. As far as the people go, I grew up in Marin, and back in the day when I grew up in Marin, I had a normal house. I mean, kid you not, like just a normal house. And, growing up in Marin County, we all knew each other. We all had neighbors, and we all knew, Mr. Munson over there, Mr. DeGiorgio over there, and everything too. But I will tell you something, and this is something that was crazy for me. That changed. It seemed like Marin became a lot more entitled. People got their like houses. All of a sudden, my old high school that I used to drive in my old car, my beater car, right? The one that, I had to find gas money for. There were like Tesla chargers and everything too. And no one really knew each other. Everyone kind of stayed in their houses. Everyone didn't really know their neighbors. So I thought that was gone for good. And then I make the move out to Sacramento. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Everyone kind of like knows each other. Everyone's getting together. Like, like I kid you not, if you have kids and you're moving to the Sacramento area, you're going to be involved in a lot of sports, but it's not crazy sports where people are just out of control. It's just more like fun stuff. You'll gather with the parents, you'll do the swim thing, you'll do volleyball, you'll do like soccer. Soccer's huge here in Sacramento. And that's kind of one of the things I liked. The other thing that I was introduced to that there wasn't too much of that in the Bay Area when I was there, were like, each kind of community and area, they'll have like movie nights in the park, and there's concerts in the park, and there's gatherings, there's things to do for the family. And for me, at the point of my life when I made the move to Sacramento, I was done with like the going out late, hanging out with the buddies and all that stuff too. And I was more about the suburb lifestyle. I wanted to spend more time with my family, barbecuing, inviting people over. And Sacramento played very much into that, and I really, really liked it. Are there things you can do if you're single here in Sacramento? 100%. But for me, honestly, the areas you'd go towards, maybe like a Roseville and Midtown or whatnot. But for the most part, it's a suburban life. I mean, this is what it is. You got brand new communities developing overnight. You got brand new schools. You got new police departments, new fire departments. I mean, it's just like a growing spot. And for me, I really absolutely love that. Let's hit a question, then we'll get back into my story. Okay, great show as always. Thanks. If you're selling your home and need some work done before putting on the market, do agents have access to short-term loans for their clients, or is that not an option? Okay, here. Some brokerages offer that. I know I switched over from Coldwell Banker to Guide, but I know Coldwell Banker had a program where you didn't pay any interest. You paid it off in escrow, after you closed. Some realtors will do that too. I mean, some realtors will basically say, look, here's the thing. We got a listing agreement. When you sell, you got to pay it out of escrow. Now, the only thing I would say about that is it ties you in. So let's say, for example, you're working with a realtor and you put in like $20,000 and you're kind of on the hook for that. You're kind of tied to that realtor towards the end of the transaction. I would say if it was me, I'd probably tap into a little equity in my house and take that money out and do some fixes. But yeah, realtors can do that. I mean, I would say, a lot of the bigger teams that I've seen in the area have programs like that as well too. A lot of people have contractors as well too. Like we have contractors that for the most part will do stuff for clients, and then, you know, when they go to sell, they'll collect their money out of escrow as well too. Not all realtors, but yeah, definitely realtors do have those programs. And big brokerages like the Caldwells, I think, who else does, Remaxes do, they have these specific programs that are geared for that as well too, and you don't pay any interest on it. But you just have to stick with the brokerage, stick with the listing agreement, and when you close, the money comes out of escrow. So yeah, definitely, they definitely have that stuff too. So that's something definitely to look into. I know for sure Caldwell Banker has it. I'm not sure about any other brokerages. I know the one I'm at right now, Guy, does not have it, but our team does have contractors that'll definitely work with you. So that's something. Okay, so let's get into some other stuff about California. Why, for the most part, are people just loving California? Because as much as everyone in the nation wants you to think that everyone's leaving California and California has 3 people living in it, that ain't the truth. California's got amazing weather. I mean, we've got the best weather, in my opinion, in all the United States. I think we've got the most, like, the scenery, we got the beaches, we've got the snow, we got all that stuff too. I mean, we really do. We are really kind of spoiled here in California. Now, for me, that was, you know, so apparent when I moved to like Tucson, Arizona for a little bit, or when I travel outside, you know, California, I go to, like, you know, sometimes Texas or whatnot. You know, I just realized how lucky we are here in California. First of all, for me, hate humidity. Humidity is something for me I absolutely cannot stand. Not a big fan of tornadoes, hurricanes, not a big fan of earthquakes as well too. And that's why I kind of moved up to Sacramento. So for me, I look at it as far as, you know, Sacramento is that spot for me that, yeah, we have some hot weather during the summer, but the affordability kicks in too. So you can have a house with a pool. If you're in Sacramento County, you're on SMUD, which is half the price of PG&E. And honestly, like, you know, since COVID, you're going to find that if you have yourself a nice house, if you have a nice HVAC system, you're probably going to be entertaining in your house more than not. I've seen houses that I've sold before that have pools for like under $350,000. The houses weren't perfect, don't get me wrong, but pools are something that you see more than not in the Sacramento area as well too. So for me, I really like the Sacramento area. I think it's growing. Now another thing for me too is, and I'm a big person where I like to be on the ground floor of something, you know, whether it's a baseball team, whether it's whatnot, like I like to be on the ground floor. I like to be those OG fans. And Sacramento right now is going through a crazy growth spurt. It's not going to be one of those cities that you jump into and it's going to be the same city today, and in 10 years, it'll be the same city. In 10 years, Sacramento is completely going to change with all this stuff developing, Placer One, Placer Vineyards, all the stuff they got going on in Natomas, Elk Grove, Folsom, Rockland, Bickford Ranch. Our area is completely transforming. Now, California historically has been a good spot to plant your money for houses. Now I know everyone's saying, oh, home prices are going down, and they could be. In fact, Sacramento's seen a little bit of a dip between 2 and 3%. But for the most part, how I look at it is that if I'm going to buy a house, if I want to be in an area that's growing, it's developing, there's a good chance for appreciation. I mean, Sacramento is kind of the NVIDIA of real estate, in my opinion. I think that our growth potential is off the charts. I think we got state jobs. I think we got a lot of healthcare jobs as well, too. I think, you know, nurses, doctors absolutely love it here. We got Dignity, Kaiser, Shriners. What else do we got? We have so many different hospitals in the Sacramento area. It's nuts. And we had a lot of doctors and nurses moving in. That on top of state workers and state jobs, it's not too shabby of a place to be, especially if you're looking for some sort of stable job in either of those fields. All right. Got dirty. All right. Hey, Mark, been watching you for a few months. As me and the wife have started our first time buying experience. We just put our offer out for a home in Lincoln with 72-hour expiry. Wish us luck. Good luck. You know, I'd say right now, I mean, if I'm a buyer, I don't know if you need luck, honestly, unless you got that one house that everyone's like dying over, right? I mean, I'm seeing crazy deals right now in the market. I mean, if you're a buyer right now, sellers are the ones in this market more not that need luck. The luxury market is a little different, but I'd say sellers for the most part right now are the ones struggling. I think buyers, what we saw in spring, what we saw in summer was that demand slowed down, right? So all the buyers, were thinking, you know, everyone thought that all these buyers would be back because inventory levels were rising. What ended up happening was the buyers just went on vacation. Inventory levels kept rising and sellers kind of realized that, you know, they couldn't go these high prices. And so you saw a division of the sellers. You saw one type of seller that has the 2.75s who aren't really in huge of a rush to sell. They either put their house to rent or they basically just kept living in their homes. Then you have the people right now that are, these are the sellers who pretty much have to sell their homes. These are the ones that right now, are just struggling at the same time. So for you, Dirty, I'm going to tell you, this is the type of market where if you do need to buy, if you want to buy, if you see something you really, really like, I mean, you can make it happen. I mean, you can make some crazy deals happen. I saw we have a really amazing client, and she right now is looking at a deal. It's a smoking deal, right? I won't give details because I don't want to give it away, but she's in this. Oh, this house is probably undervalued $200,000. And the biggest thing for her right now is just the idea that, is it the right house for her? She knows it's a deal. She knows it might be, might be the best idea, period. But at the same time, it's like, it kind of comes back to like, you're going to see tons of deals at this time, especially in resale on the market and in new homes as well too. But are you buying the deal or are you buying the house? And that's something that like is huge. I think moving is a pain. I think the idea of maybe buying a house and sitting on it for 3 or 4 years sounds like the dream situation. Hey, I'm going to buy a house undervalued by $200,000. I'm going to move in. And then in a couple of years from now, I'm going to move out, make some money, call it a day. I mean, that's still a little bit of a gamble, and it still means that you got to do a double move, which is not fun at all. So I would say right now, the market for buyers, if you're finding something that you really, really like, a house that you say, wow, that's a house for me. I mean, you're in definitely a good situation in this market. All right. Clark says buyers in the driver's seat now, especially in the metro Atlanta, Georgia area. Yeah, I'd say almost in any market, I mean, I would say right now, the longer the days in the market, the longer the prices are going down, communities, neighborhoods, as long as you analyze all that stuff too, I think buyers are definitely in the driver's seat. I don't think there's anyone who could say different. The only thing I will tell you though, is that, and it's something I see all the time. I always see realtors going like, this is the buyer's market. Yeah. Just because a deal is a deal doesn't mean you necessarily have to buy it. Right. And like I was going back to my story, it just doesn't mean that. I don't want you guys to get swept into this idea that, you can get it at a bargain price. Do you really want it? And that's the biggest trick also about this market is I think that, realtors are hurting. There's not as many transactions, not as many houses going into contract selling. So I think you feel a little bit that sense of desperation right now too. And so I'd say for anyone looking to basically buy a house, I would say go slow. Figure out what you really, really want. If you spot a deal, make sure it's on something that you like, that you say to yourself, yeah, this is what I want, right? I think that I'm noticing more than not, because as we get into like what's called the end of October, then November, December, and January, it's probably, I know, and the funniest part is like everyone was saying interest rates would drop. And I was telling everybody interest rates are going to be hovering around that 6.5 range. I still think that's where we're going to be headed towards. And I think it's going to be around 6.5 through the end of this year. But I do think that because of that right now, the buyers that have decided maybe, hey, you know what, I'm going to jump in and just go for it. I just don't think there's that pressure. I just don't think there's that one of those things where it's like, you got to buy right now. Interest rates are going up and you're out of luck. Or inventory is going to, everyone's bidding on houses. You got to jump in there or else you're not going to get a house. I think right now buyers don't need to run to the real estate market. I think they can walk. I think they can just window shop. And I think it's about time. And I think for sellers who want to sell their homes, I think specifically if you're looking to sell a home and if you're in like maybe, I don't know, I'd say the middle price range, like maybe 5, 6, 7, 8s, you have to be smart about your pricing. You've got to trust the realtor you're working with as well too. You've got to have a realtor with good marketing sense and not just, the generic, like you'll meet a realtor and they'll basically say, oh, you know what? I'm with this brokerage and we have this platform and we can do this for you. That stuff is great, but every single brokerage has that stuff. They're going to tell you, oh, we have a website, we have a landing page, we have this, we do marketing, we do social media. Where is that analytics? Because for me, at least, one of the things that's helped us tremendously has been YouTube. YouTube has been great because YouTube, if you've seen that house that we list in Newcastle, I mean, the phone was ringing off the hook for that house as well too. So I would say just make sure that if you are listing your home, make sure it's with a team that kind of can market. Now, a lot of people are going to say, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be on Zillow. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. Yeah, here's the thing. The MLS, Zillow, Realtor.com, it's gonna be in all these places as well too. The thing about videos though is that one of the things I love about YouTube as opposed to Instagram, I think Instagram is a great platform, but I think I love the YouTube idea because it's on a big screen TV. It just looks really, really nice. And I think that that just does the trick. I haven't seen a lot of people on Instagram that I know locally that have been really, really successful selling homes. I see a lot of people showcasing homes and then getting buyers, but not really selling. Where I think YouTube's a little bit more of that platform to sell. Okay, so let's jump into a little bit more about California. Now, as we jump into this whole thing, a lot of people moving to California that are maybe from Texas or Florida. I would say one of the things about California is you just don't feel like a lot of that. I mean, maybe in Silicon Valley, maybe in some of these certain areas, you feel that stress. But I know in the Sacramento area, you feel kind of relaxed. You feel calm. There's not that crazy energy. Like I remember living in LA and, traffic got me stressed out. I remember living in San Francisco, the idea of just leaving my home, giving up my parking space and going shopping. I just knew it'd be, a pain in the butt coming back. And it was just that stress. Sacramento, you don't have that stress. It's really laid back. It's relaxed. Now, this is a funny time of the year as we move into the colder season. Everyone thinks for some reason that Sacramento stays around 120 degrees all year long. Right now, it's starting to do a little bit of a cool off. And this is pretty much like mid-October. So we're starting to cool off a little bit. Fall is in the air. We're going to get our seasonality here in the Sacramento area. You're talking about colder weather, then you're going to get rainy season. All of a sudden, Tahoe is going to be lit up. People are going to go snowboarding. This is kind of what we do here in the Sacramento area. Home goods is going to be flooded with a lot of people who are going to buy stuff that they probably don't need to decorate their houses. I mean, guys, we go crazy too on decorations for the holidays. So I would say that one thing about the Sacramento, if you're curious about like the weather here or whatnot, this is the time that we switch. This is the time right now that we're switching a little bit to the colder season. And we're going to keep it probably going until maybe mid-March. And like I said, we might get warm days here and again. We might get a little spur of like 2 days here, 1 day warm here. But for the most part, this is kind of what you're going to feel in the Sacramento area. Now, like I said, I'm not a big fan of humidity. I like our weather right here. And a lot of people are like, yeah, there's still a little humidity in the air. I mean, I've traveled to Atlanta. I've traveled to like Texas and various cities in Texas. And when people say it's humid in California or there's days where the humidity is in the air, I just kind of laugh because I have zero clue what humidity is really about. California feels way dry for me. I mean, there's some days maybe not as much, but at the same time, not comparatively towards like a Florida or like a Texas. I mean, not even close. So I like our climate. I think it's really, really nice. And like I said, at this point in time, if you're curious, if you're someone who's maybe coming in from Texas or Florida or Arizona and you're wondering, does Sacramento ever kind of cool down? We're in our cool down stages right now, which is also a little cool down for our market as well too. All right, boom. How good are JMC model homes in Whitney Ranch? Is there any downsides buying a model home? For me, the model homes, they're kind of, here's the thing. You're paying for upgrades that you really didn't choose, right? I think it looks pretty. I think it looks nice. But at the same time, I'm not a big fan of buying the model homes. I think they tend to be a little overpriced, in my opinion. Unless you can get a really good smoking deal on a model home, any research you do on it is just going to be basically like, it's just, there's a lot of finishes. There's a lot of like upgrades and everything too. And if you're going to pay for those upgrades, if you're going to pay for those finishes, might as well make them your own, right? Like the idea is buy a JMC home and just get a contractor in there or get someone else who can put this. And I get what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, no, this way it's wrapped up in the loan. I get it. But at the same time, you're going to be honestly buying, because the model home is going to be the most expensive home out of all the homes that they sold, right? So if you buy a model home, like for example, that's Denali up at El Dorado Hills, I think that thing closed for like $2.4 million. Easily the most expensive house in all of the Toll Brothers Hidden Ridge community. So for me, I would steer clear of the model. That would just be me, unless they can get you some smoking deal. You can see what the past home sold for and you can get somewhat close to it. Now, the other thing too about this home specifically is you could run into appraisal issues as well too. So just those are things to keep in mind. But for me, if I had my choice between buying a model home or buying a home that was a little bit more standard and I can upgrade it and do the finishes I wanted, I'd probably go in that direction. But that's just me. Like I said, it's everyone's different. Everyone's, if you see that home and you fall in love with it, you know, crazy things, those amazing, beautiful model homes, but the models tend to be the most pricey and a lot of times just not worth it, my opinion. Okay, let's go. Jesse says, I agree. I've been to Georgia and Texas, and I wouldn't take a pay increase to move to either one of those states. Yeah, neither would I. And I always try to be a little bit more respectful towards states and everything too. But yeah, no, there's just no way I'm moving out of California. Yeah, I mean, there's some areas like I look at and some things would be cool, like what's it called, like New York. I mean, that'd be nuts, or like, cities like Chicago, but then I also think about the humidity and the weather in Chicago. That would not work for me either. I mean, there's something about California. And like I said, a lot of people are going to watch this and probably like bag on California and everything too. But there's something amazing about California. And the biggest gotcha about California, for all you people out there right now living in California who are going to be like, I don't like California. Here's the biggest thing about California is once you leave California, because, okay, Sacramento and the Sacramento area is affordable against like Los Angeles, is affordable against like, like the San Francisco Bay Area, right? Sacramento is not affordable against, various cities like Phoenix, like Houston, like, it's just not, it's way more expensive than those cities. So now let's say that you have a house in Sacramento and you're like, politics or weather or this and that. I'm moving out. I'm going to Texas. The likelihood of you actually being able to leave Texas and come back to California, if you don't like Texas, is so hard to do. Your house in California that you sold, you probably won't ever be able to afford it again. And, like it'll just go up and up in price. And if you move into Texas, let's say you go to one of those McMansions in Houston or Dallas, one of those awesome communities where you can buy a McMansion for $2, like good luck trying to sell it. I mean, the competition in Sacramento is fierce because we have new homes, but like when you go to Texas, they're just constantly churning and burning out these like amazing McMansions over and over. So those are the McMansions you're going to be competing against because Texas has so much land forever and ever and ever. So for me now, man, California, the biggest thing about it for anyone thinking right now to move out of California is that, and maybe the politics gets you, maybe like you're like, I don't like this, I don't like that. You're not going to be able to move back in. And that's the thing that I run into. A lot of times I'll call clients who like moved to Florida and moved to Texas, and they're like, we're not happy here, but we can't move back to California. California is a premium. And that's one of the things you need to understand for, a lot of times is like, you're here, and California is going to have things that you don't like about it. Sacramento is going to have things you don't like about it. But if you just close up shop and you move out to like, I don't know, like Ohio, Florida or like Texas, I mean, you're stuck there because we are so much more expensive than those areas that the idea of you selling and getting back here, it's just, maybe, I don't know, maybe like 1 out of 20 people can maybe make that happen. And what you buy here, you're not going to be happy with because the whole time you're going to say like, man, I should never have sold my house. I can't buy my house again. So I would just say, just kind of keep in mind of that because I've seen a lot of people in that situation who move. They're so excited about moving out. Oh yeah, I'm going to do that. And they just can't move back in. All right. How much can you save on utilities and fire insurance living in Roseville? East Roseville is starting to look like a more attractive place to retire. East Roseville is like, East Roseville has not been that hard with fire insurance. You got Roseville Electric as well too, which is not as, it's neck and neck with SMUD. It's a little bit more expensive than SMUD. I would say for utilities, you're probably talking about like half the price of PG&E, although you saw PG&E for gas. And I'd say for home insurance, as long as you make sure that, you're not buying a house next to a grassy hill, which they don't have too many in Roseville, you'll be good to go. And Roseville's a really like, especially the East Roseville area, you got fire departments, you got roads, you got fire hydrants. I mean, I don't think you're going to run into any problems over there too. East Roseville is really, really nice as well. It's one of those areas that, because Grant Bay is so popular and people absolutely love Grant Bay, East Roseville kind of bleeds into it. You still get the same kind of price point, that whole bougie feel as far as East Roseville goes. School, shopping. East Roseville is a great spot. My buddy Sam Golovi, you guys probably watch his channel as well too. He's thinking about going into East Roseville as well too. I think East Roseville is nice. All right. Will you miss Starbucks in Gold River? I know Starbucks is shutting down. Yeah, I will. I think they should have. Starbucks is so crazy. So Starbucks at Gold River, they had one really nice Gold River Starbucks where everyone would get together, the bicyclists would get together. It was a nice Starbucks, networking. And then they opened another Starbucks at Bel Air, which was literally like in the same mall. And then they shut down the Starbucks in Gold River. So yeah, I think it's a shame. I think a lot of people like that Starbucks, like meeting there. I think it was a good spot. I think they probably shouldn't have opened the one in Bel Air and should have just left it there. But I think Starbucks is going through a change as well too. Hopefully something nice moves into that Starbucks area, maybe Labu or something like that. You never know. So let's get back to California. What do you guys think as far as California goes? Like for me, I'm not living in any other state, and that's just the way it goes. I've like lived in other states and lived in other cities. I've even lived outside the country for a while. And for me, California, the weather, let's get into some of these things. The climate, first of all, you got, like I said, Sacramento is going to go through right now. It's winter season. It's going to be very, very mild. At the end of October, you're going to have Boreal up in Tahoe. It's going to start churning out the snow. And so you can go snowboarding up there. Summers are nice. I mean, winter is going to be nice. It's just going to be like that cool weather where you can wear like nice bundled up coats. There's going to be rain coming in as well too. And here's the thing, I'll probably make a trip with my family down to like the Bay Area, maybe go watch the Nutcracker, go visit some family. It's a nice time. So for me, the climate is one of the main things that you guys should be focused on. And I know humidity and everything too. And a lot of the comments when I put up these like, you know, who wins and everything too. If it wasn't for the humidity, Florida, you know, they're saying Florida would win. It's got the humidities. It has humidity and brutal humidity in Florida as well too. For me, that just completely eliminates it from a spot to live for me. All right, let's talk about it. Lifestyle, outdoor living. Another thing too, guys, in California. I mean, not only that, but we do have such outdoor activities out here that are just crazy. California is good. You know, Southern California, you got your like beaches and all that stuff too. But here's the thing for us, and one of the things that I love about Sacramento and the Sacramento area and Northern California, you have hills, you have mountains, you have these cool little towns in the mountains as well too that you can go exploring, mountain biking, hiking, paddleboarding, canoeing. You know, you can buy yourself a boat. In Sacramento, there's houses that actually have specific areas for RVs and for boats if you want them. You know, we have the West Sacramento Yacht Club that's really nice as well too. This place, if you're thinking to yourself, you know what? Kids are spending way too much time by their iPad. They're watching too much TV. The beautiful part about the Sacramento area is you can just go out with your kids. You can go for walks. You can have fun and everything too. I don't know. For me, I love that. Like I'll go on evening walks with my daughter all the time here in Gold River. We'll jump on our beach cruisers and go, you know, where we used to go to Starbucks, but now we don't. But yeah, the outdoor activity here in Sacramento is fantastic. And for myself, I enjoyed that stuff in Marin County, but I noticed as they were building more and it was becoming a lot more, the population was becoming like this. It's nice to have an area like Sacramento that has so much land that you can kind of explore, kind of like go through and everything too. So for me, I like it. I mean, in fact, areas like Gold River, they kept all these walking trails around the houses that you can explore. You got Lake Natoma, you got like, you know, the Sacramento, what is it? At the end of Gold Country Boulevard, where the Sacramento rowing team practices, Sacramento State rowing team, Sacramento Aquatic Center. You have so many of these areas that, you know, Sacramento is left for you, for hiking, for biking, for all that kind of stuff. And that for me means a whole lot because I love doing that stuff with my daughter. I love doing that stuff with my family. My brother always comes up and we're doing like hikes. We're going on mountain bike rides and everything too. So all that stuff is really, really nice. So you got Sacramento River, you got the American River, you got Folsom Lake, you got Lake Natoma. You got so much stuff, guys, around here too. And if you really want to go into like some fun adventures, you can go up to Pilot Hill, you can go up to Newcastle, you can go to Auburn, all these fun little towns and explore Sacramento, explore Northern California. For me, that's one of the things I absolutely love. And the thing that's so funny is I was talking to, a lady and her and her partner moved into Rancho. And I was telling her, I'm telling you, Lake Tahoe, hour, 20 minutes away. And so she thought I was completely full of it. She's like, yeah, hour, 20 minutes. She's like, honestly, hour, 20 minutes on the nose. I made it up to Lake Tahoe. So we got Lake Tahoe as well too. And on the way to Lake Tahoe, you got all these small little areas you can stop off, Apple Hill, really, really nice. Now, the other thing about Sacramento that for me is great as well is like all the stuff that they're doing, like the rail yards. developing, Top Golf and North Natomas. You got all the stuff that's developing in the Sacramento area. The surf park in Roseville. You got East Ridge Village that's developing up in El Dorado Hills. Liberty, a huge master plan community over in Lincoln. You have so many areas developing for you guys too. And that's kind of why I tell people, like, you look at areas like, your like Bay Area or Los Angeles, they're not going to grow. They're not going to be different than they are now. Sacramento is, with all the stuff that we have developing here, with all the homes, with all the new schools, with everything that we're building here. Not only are we going to be an amazing spot in the future, I mean, we are already right now, but in the future, everything's going to be brand new. All the road work, everything is going to be so amazing here. So for me, love the area. All right. Wendy. All right. I'm hoping to purchase before December 31st. I'm wishing upon a star. I love Laboo. That'd be true. Yeah. Maybe, you never know. If you guys are enjoying the live broadcast, please smash that like button and bring your questions. All right. For me, I would say never lose faith. We might be able to find you a house before December. So never know. What I always tell people too, whether you're selling a home or whether you're buying a home, it only takes one buyer, one seller. There you go. That's all you need. Now, the economy and opportunity. Now, this is going to be coming from directly someone who came here. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do here when I first came into Sacramento. I loved real estate. I love teaching. I taught at a few different colleges as well too. So I wasn't really sure what I was going to do here in Sacramento. And as much as we have state jobs, we have medical jobs, we have construction jobs, a lot of the entrepreneurial stuff here is alive and well. The Bay Area is still a lot more tech heavy, I'd say. The Bay Area still has a lot of opportunities as well too. So you see a lot of people here in the Sacramento maybe do a 1 or 2 day commute. And that's just being completely transparent with you guys. But for the most part, what you're going to see is, I think a lot of people that I notice that move into the Sacramento area will keep their jobs in the Bay Area for a while, and then they'll eventually look for work here in Sacramento. And a lot of them tend to be successful. So I would say that could be something for you guys as well too. State jobs, there's a lot of them here, but they're not as easy to get as just saying, hey, go down to the state, they'll hand you a job. You got to apply, but they're decent paying jobs. They're actually really good paying jobs if you can get one. And the growth and development. I mean, like, we have new Dignity Healths being opened. We have new Kaiser campuses being opened. If you're someone who's a landscaper, contractor, if you're someone who likes to do that stuff as well too, we have all these new homes developing, all these new commercial opportunities. If you want to put in a restaurant, it's really kind of a fun spot, Sacramento, as far as what you can do for a living. All right. California is the best weather, but they tax Social Security checks for retired people. Most other states don't. Yeah, I know. And here's the thing, and I tell people this all the time, and some people like it or hate it. Every state is going to have its thing, every area, every location. And I get it. I mean, taxes. I mean, who likes paying taxes? There's no other solution though for me as far as a place to live as far as place or a state or an area that I like. And I've been everywhere. Honestly, I've been in New York, been all over the place. But for me, the thing about Sacramento is that I love California. I love the people here in California too. I think California in general, it's just a calm, relaxed kind of vibe. I mean, yeah, you're going to get some crazy people here and there. I mean, any state, any city has them. But for the most part, California has a really nice, relaxed, calm vibe about it. And for me, Sacramento in general has a thing where you can get different things here in Sacramento. You can get a house with land. You can get a brand new home, for $500,000. You can get so many different things around here in Sacramento that you're not kind of limited, right? I like that. But going back to your point, taxes and everything too. Yeah. I mean, there's just no way to get around that. California, you're going to be paying more taxes. You're going to get the weather, you're going to get the lifestyle, but at the same time, you are definitely going to be paying for it one way or the other. But for me, like I said, I'm not a big fan of paying for all that, paying, having extra taxes, but I don't know. I'm still not leaving California. All right. Sacramento working on anything new for the river? Is Sacramento working on anything new for the river? For example, a new boat that will sail on the river. Oh, that would be cool. There are these. Okay. So there is something that I've been wanting to kind of check out myself. Okay, so in Sacramento, it's kind of fun. During the holiday seasons, they have these buses, or these kind of like bicycle buses, where you can sit there and you can hang out with your friends. Some people drink, and you can cruise around the city. They have actually these boats that you can do the same thing. They have these boats in the Sacramento River by Tower Cafe and everything too, that you can jump into and you can kind of take little strolls around the area. Now, I don't think currently right now there's going to be any big tour things happening on the river. Hopefully there will be in the near future. I will tell you one thing, they are planning on possibly building another big hotel by the water and developing out the waterfront. Old Sacramento is right on the water, and they're investing $3 million to revamp that entire area, which I think is great. So I think if we put more like stuff going on there, like the rail yards, Old Sacramento, I think eventually we will start getting more use of that river and more use of that land, which probably will bring more opportunities for boat tours, which I think would be amazing. All right. Sacramento River is starting to get a floor of abandoned boats the transients live on. This is about the biggest change I've seen the city do with the river in 40 years. You know, for me, one of the things is I did a video, what was it, about 3 years ago for 4th of July. We actually went on a boat and we kind of cruised around the area and everything too. One of the things that I thought was really, really cool was that if you go to the West Sacramento Yacht Club and you go out there, and it sounds a lot more bougie than it is. Everyone's out there, everyone's having fun, but you hop on a boat and everyone's pretty nice about it. You can go out to where the fireworks are and you see all these people driving their boats out there. Like for river life and everything too, that's kind of the way to go. And I would say that there's just like a weird little subculture for the river. You know, it's fun, it's crazy. I mean, I saw one guy just jump off his boat and just start swimming, and they were, you know, probably drinking a little too early, but it was a fun kind of culture out there too. So I think that one of the things I've enjoyed about Sacramento is exploring those things, exploring like the different avenues of what makes Sacramento unique. And I think if you come here, you're going to notice that like Folsom Lake has its own thing. There's walking trails. There's people who bring their boats on Folsom Lake. And then you're going to have the Sacramento Aquatic Center where people are going on their paddle boards, enjoying it. Also in Folsom, Old Town Folsom, where you go underneath the bridge, you can go there on paddle boards and people gather during the summertime. And then, of course, river life. I mean, I saw some lady catch a giant salmon in the Sacramento River, and she gave me half of it. She's like, here you go. This half when we were doing a video for the Pocket. And then the American River, also, you can do some rafting, and there's some like white water rafting as well, too. So there's a bunch of stuff you can do in Sacramento. All that stuff is like super close by. And that doesn't even touch on all the mountain biking trails, all the hiking trails. There's 34 miles of paved bike paths from like what's called downtown Sacramento all the way to Folsom, American River Bike Trail. I mean, there's so many fun things to do outside. All right. Sacramento River Otter Taxi Company. All right. All right. I love it. All right. Family had a boat on the river growing up, and then I had my own for years. It just got more and more dirty in recent years. And then they took away salmon fishing, sold my boat, no more river. Yeah, that's too bad. You know, I think when everyone comes up to Sacramento, they enjoy the whole idea of the river life and everything too. For me, as far as Sacramento, as far as California, if someone was to ask me, okay, you know what, you've lived in Los Angeles, you lived in the Bay, how can you describe Sacramento? How does it differ from the other spots in California? I'd probably have to say, like, it's not only affordable comparatively towards the Bay and also Los Angeles, but I think we have kind of a slower pace. I think you can still explore and discover things almost on a daily basis here. I think that parking isn't brutal. I think traffic is getting to be a little bit of a pain around here now. I think that you can discover and figure stuff out here, right? For me, I love the idea that someone I meet tells me about this amazing hill that you can go to and go for a nice hike. And I can bring my daughter and go out there and do that. Then the next day I could go and take a look at this really cool spot at the Folsom Lake area where I can go take photography or go take my camera. So I think that one of the things about Sacramento that really, really does it for me is that I've been here for like 15, 16 years. And I still, you know, and I've shown so many communities, so many areas. I mean, I've sold homes and put buyers into homes in almost every city and area, from Davis to like Newcastle, Rockland, Bickford, and everything too. And still almost on like a weekly basis, I discover new areas, new something to do. It just keeps me very much entertained and very much on my toes. So I love Sacramento for that. And for anyone who's thinking about making the move to California, I would say before you jump in completely, Probably rent at least for 6 months, unless you really know the area and you take your time to examine the area. I would say if you look at California or looking at spots like Los Angeles, you're looking at spots like the Bay Area and you're saying, oh man, how expensive is that? I would say look at Sacramento. Look at the Sacramento area. There's no, there's a reason why everyone on Redfin during the course of the beginning of this year was searching Sacramento more than any other city in the United States. Redfin did, and not my opinion, but Redfin basically said their data showed that everyone was leaving California, but everyone was looking to move into Sacramento, which is the weirdest thing in the world. But it showed me a lot that I still think that Sacramento is hot. I still think that Sacramento is a fantastic spot to live. And if you're someone who's considering California, if you're someone who lives in California currently, maybe in the Bay or, Los Angeles, and you're saying, I just don't want to deal with renting my entire life. I don't want to deal with, paying like $2 million for like a 1,100 square foot condo. I want an awesome house. I want an awesome community. I want brand new schools. And I want to have that house I always dreamt of. I think Sacramento is the perfect spot for you. I think coming out here, exploring it a little bit, working with a team like my team that can tell you a little bit about the pros and cons of the different areas, neighborhoods, communities, and figuring out what you like. Because that's a big part of it too. A lot of people will call up, and call us up, and one of our first questions is always like, what do you guys like to do? What's your thing? Do you like to bike? Do you like to hike? Are you people who, that likes Netflix and you just want a nice entertaining home? You can have it all here. Are you a golfer? You can go to Catavadera. You can go to Whitney Oaks. You can go to Serrano. There's so many different areas and different lifestyles you can have in the Sacramento area that it really does play to almost everyone. There's also tons of active communities in the area as well too. You got Toll Brothers Regency that is just blowing up. You got Turkey Creek, and you got at least 3 other communities are opening up as well too. So we have something for everyone in the Sacramento area. And if you're coming from Los Angeles or the Bay Area, it's not going to break your bank, and it's going to be a mortgage payment that, yes, it's not going to be fun, but at least you're going to be paying for something that you like. So for me, honestly, biggest mistake I ever made was not coming here sooner. I'm so glad I made it to Sacramento. I'm so glad that I invested in the city, invested in this area, and I think the best is yet to come for Sacramento. Now, let's pivot a little bit and let's talk a little bit about real estate. Bring your questions. If you guys are enjoying this live broadcast, smash that like button. All right. So just like we were talking about before, Jerome Powell made that earth-shattering announcement. as we were talking about on this channel, it's probably going to be a cold fall, a cold winter. And that's kind of what we're looking at. Unless some weird earth-shattering black swan event happens, we're going to be hovering around probably 6.5. Buyer demand is still relatively low. Sellers are on the ropes right now too. And now it's somewhat clear to see that the sellers whose houses are on the market right now are, just need to sell their homes. The houses that, I don't want to say they're 2.75 owners, but the houses that at least have a little bit more breathing room, you'll see them pulling their homes off the market, and probably relisting in spring. Now, I do think there are deals in this market. Hello. All right, let's get some more questions. Arrived late, better late than never. Happy to be here. Happy to have you. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. And you guys also, thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you also for all your questions, all your comments. You guys have got to understand that like this show right here, by the time like next week rolls around, we probably had between like 7 to maybe 1,500 eyeballs looking at this video. So all your questions, all your comments, any direction you decide to pull us into is going to be something that someone is going to very much enjoy hearing about. The thing is, like, I don't have all the answers. I do my best. But the beautiful part about you guys is that a lot of you people live in Sacramento. A lot of you people can give that feedback to people who are thinking about making the move here. You got to remember, a lot of people watch this show or people who might be thinking about saying, I don't know if I'm going to Sacramento, maybe I'm going to Austin, maybe I'm going to Portland. I'm just not really sure. So having this open forum not only allows me to talk about the market, about Sacramento in general, but also allows me to present your guys' questions, your opinions, how you really, really, truly feel about Sacramento. And that's going to help other people out there to understand if Sacramento is a spot for them or not. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for asking your questions as well, too. All right. I really, really hate driving on the 50 with all the construction. I've ended up in Davis a few times because it forces you to stay in the lane on the freeway. I know. One of the things about the 50, they say by next summer it should be done. But yeah, not only that, the 50 has caused some accidents, big accidents, even deaths. So yeah, I completely with you. I think the way that they are setting it up where you can't exit is brutal because it's hit me a few times too, especially when I'm going to downtown Sacramento. I'm really, 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 really itching for that to be done. I think, like I said, a lot of people ask me if, you're always talking about how great Sacramento is. What is the big Achilles of Sacramento? And I've always said this. The two things Sacramento's got to really work at if we're going to take it to that next level is one, public transportation. That's huge. Sacramento, it has limited buses. It has that rail that goes from downtown to Folsom, yes. But let's face it, majority of people have never used it. We need good public transportation. That's number one. And number two is we need to put a priority on infrastructure in the Sacramento area. Because as we're building all these brand new houses in like Folsom, Elk Grove, Rockland, all these areas, they're going to need to cross Sacramento one way or another. And if we don't have that infrastructure to support the Sacramento's growth with all these new homes, it's going to be a nightmare in the near future. We already saw it with Folsom Ranch, right? East Bidwell. How many people right now live in the Folsom Ranch area? And how many people dread getting off at East Bidwell to get home or to go to work? Infrastructure has got to be another thing that Sacramento focuses on. Hopefully they will, because we gave all the permits, all the rights for Toll Brothers, Taylor Morrison, Lennar, all the companies to build all these new homes. And we didn't plan our infrastructure properly, and we're getting a little bit bit by that. Now, those, in my opinion, are the two Achilles heels of the Sacramento area. I think, like I said, weather-wise, I love our weather. It doesn't get hot in the summer, yeah, but no tornadoes, no hurricanes, no earthquakes. I'll take it. All right, let's jump into a little bit of the stats going on in Sacramento. And like I said, it's cold. Right now, the market is relatively cold. Not sugarcoating it. Buyers have a huge advantage if they want to jump into the resale market or if they want to jump into the new home market as well too. And sellers, for the most part, if you're a seller who needs to sell your home, you probably need to pivot a little bit, either rent it out, pull it off the market, relist it in spring, or reduce the home. And another thing that I'm seeing also is a lot of listings are going to one realtor, then the next realtor, and the next realtor as well too. So just understand that's kind of how the market kind of looks right now too. Inventory levels. Now, what you're going to see right here is inventory levels are just slightly creeping up, but you're also going against all those people who are also taking their homes off the market as well too. So inventory is probably going to stay about stagnant. You're going to see some new stuff. You're going to see some reductions on the market as well too. It has not been a good year in the Sacramento area in relation to our past years, but Sacramento is still very strong in comparison to like a Phoenix, Houston, Dallas, all those spots as well too. So all we need in our market, for all you homeowners out there who are freaking out a little bit, all we need is a little bit of a break in interest rates. My gut tells me if we get an interest rate with a 5 somewhere around it, like a 5.99999, I think we'll see buyer demand again. I think people will jump in. I just think right now interest rates have been flat for a little bit. We saw some reductions happening and it seemed to move the market just a little bit, but now we're kind of going back up. It doesn't bode well for this time. Now here we are again. This is where we're trending. This doesn't normally mean that you can get this rate, but this means where we're trending, and we're pretty much flatlining it. As you can see, after Jerome Powell talked, we actually went up and then we flatlined. So we're hovering right now around 6.4, 6.35. I think it could get a little worse. I think we can be hovering around 6.5. Now, if you're someone who's saying to yourself, like, this is just not going to work for me, I would say the big pivot is probably going to be new homes. New homes tend to be more popular than anything else right now too, but they're not doing great themselves. So don't just think that, new homes are on the ropes as well too. I've been getting a lot of calls from a lot of new home people with a lot of incentives, a lot of people saying, hey, look, make me a deal. The market is just cold. And what you're going to see for anyone out there right now, you're going to probably get some smoking incentives at the new homes. You're probably going to even get some reductions on home prices as well too. I would say if you're someone who's looking for new homes, and this is, when you want to, and, time your life, don't time the market. But if you're someone who's saying, you know what, look, I want to buy a house. I've got to move into Sacramento and I'm thinking, within the next 6 months, I got to move into Sacramento. I would say there's a chance the market is going to get a little crazier during spring. I would say right now, between now and maybe February is probably a good time to look at the market for deals in the resale market if you want to go low, and in the new home stuff as well too. And that's just kind of the way the market is right now. Toll Brothers is calling me about homes. They're doing a reduction. In fact, I did a video that I'll be dropping on Friday about a house that's being reduced over $230,000. So the market is getting cold. And if you guys are looking for those deals, not saying you should buy just based on a deal, but if you are, you're probably going to see deals even get better as long as, like I said, if we're still hovering like around 6.3, 6.5, you're going to see the new home deals just be insane. I think they're going to be slowing down a little bit on the building, but I think that it's going to be cold in the new home game. And for you guys who are thinking about getting deals in the new home market, this is probably when you strike. Like I said, the resale market, the houses that are on the market right now, they're probably going to be the ones at this point, that you can probably make deals on. And I've seen some crazy ones that we've kind of been negotiating with our clients as well too. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. What do you guys think as far as the market? Do you guys think it's going to get better? Do you think it's going to get colder? What do you think? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. This was released on the 8th, and I kind of want to bring this up with you guys as well too. What we saw was West Roseville was that spot where all of a sudden, like, new home sales were just crazy. As of October, Rancho Cordova has become that spot that has been selling homes left and right. They've been selling more than West Roseville, more than Folsom, more than Elk Grove. Why? Mainly because of price point. In Rancho, you could probably get a brand new home in Rancho for like under $500,000. You can't get that anywhere else pretty much in the Sacramento area. So Rancho is just pivoted into that. And all of a sudden you have builders like KHOV, KHOV, Elliott, you got Lennar, and there's other select builders that'll get you underneath $500,000. You can't get that in West Roseville. You can't get that in West Sacramento, Elk Grove, Vineyard. You can't even get that as well too. So Rancho's kind of cornered the market at affordable brand new homes in the Sacramento area. So if that's you and you're saying to yourself, you know what, I want to get an affordable brand new home with a great incentive and a great interest rate, Rancho is pretty much where you go. And this is why the new home sales have been just blown up, because a lot of people can't really handle like a 6.3, 6.4, 6.5 interest rate. You go to KHOV, they can probably get you in the fours, and they can get you a house around $520,000, $530,000. If you go to Elliott, you can get one in the 400s. And it's just one of those things that makes a lot more sense for a lot of people. There's no JMC in Rancho. There isn't. Now, here's the thing though, too, and I will say this. Great point. What you're seeing in Rancho too is a lot of the builders are not showing up in Rancho, right? Toll Brothers is not there. Taylor Morrison isn't there, but Taylor Morrison is going to pop up there with a community kind of like Wild Hawk, but they're not going to bring their their Drake floor plans or their Sawyer floor plans or whatnot. So what you're going to see for the most part are builders like JMC, which I mean, JMC is a fantastic builder. JMC is steering clear of Rancho. Toll Brothers is not going into Rancho as well too. Taylor Morrison is bringing more of their like entry-level homes into Rancho as well too. So what they want to do with Rancho is they want to create an affordable new home kind of area. So if you're looking in Rancho and you're missing JMC, or JMC is what you want to look at, you might want to pivot over to West Roseville. And what you're going to notice in West Roseville is that you're going to see builders like, it's going to be a different kind of like a style of building. I think Woodside is going to be a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit bigger houses, bigger lots as well too. Now, it sounds all fantastic too in Rancho for under $500,000 or close to it. You're not going to get too much of a backyard. It is mainly for people who are saying, I want a great incentive. I want a house. I need to make the move to Sacramento, that I want to go new, and I don't want a crazy payment. Rancho's that spot. If you're looking for something with a little bit more land, a little bit more spread out, a little bit more like that, you're going to have to pay for it. West Roseville definitely is that spot. Both areas are going to see amazing growth, right? Rancho, it's kind of right in the middle of your Folsoms, your Elk Groves. If you want to go downtown Sacramento as well too, like it's just right there on that spot. The location is fantastic. West Roseville though, West Roseville is got the surf park. It's got the new Kaiser campus that's going to be built out there as well too. You got the new college going out there as well too. You got Bickford, you got Placer One, Placer Vineyards, you got the new surf park. So there's so many things being built in the West Roseville area as well too. It's just that because of so many things being built in West Roseville, like Costco, the price points there went up, where in Rancho, the price points has somewhat stayed the same. So that's just a little bit of a heads up. Don't forget the dump in Rancho. I kid. Rancho is probably the best overall buy right now with the upcoming connector. I mean, and that's the thing, right? I think Roseville right now, because of the home building and everything too, is playing for more of the larger homes, maybe a little bit more. Like, here's the thing about West Roseville, and here's a little backstory. 2 years ago, DR Horton Express was building homes that were in the $400,000 in West Roseville. There also, you saw builders like Meritage also building in the high 400s, low 500s as well too. What you saw in West Roseville is that that type of building stopped. And then all of a sudden you saw building in the 500s. And now we're like getting building in the 600s because that whole area is kind of developing and just, kind of blooming and blossoming. Where in Rancho on the other side, they've been kind of focused in on like, look, we're going to keep the price point low. We're going to make it affordable. And we are just, we're going to build as many homes as possible. But the area is nice as well too. There's parks, soccer parks, community vibe and everything too. And you're so close to Folsom. Both areas have a lot going for them. Like I said, if I'm looking for maybe a little bit of a bigger home, if I'm looking for a house on a bigger piece of land, probably going out to West Roseville. If I'm looking for something with a great incentive, best bang for your buck right now in Sacramento, especially for new homes, even resale. I've seen people like in Rancho, there's so many resale houses on the market in Rancho too. Houses that are maybe 2 years old, 3 years old. Now, here's one thing that I will tell anyone who's buying a new home though, be warned. And this is a huge warning for anyone buying a new home. It's something that I think should be a little bit more, I don't know, people should know this a little bit more. If you plan on buying a brand new home in Rancho, let's say you move into Rancho and you're like, I'm going to buy myself a Lennar home. I'm going to buy a home over there too. And you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to be there for about 3 years. Then I'm probably going to sell my home and I'm going to move on my merry way. You will be competing against pretty much the same builders that are building right now in 3 years. They're going to still have incentives, and that's going to be your competition. I've seen so many people that have bought new homes, not with our team, but with other teams. And all of a sudden they go to sell their home. And who are they competing against? They're competing against KHOV. They're competing against Woodside. And all these builders are offering like 3.9s, 4.9 interest rates. And in the resale market, you can't compete with that. So just understand that if you are going in for the new home, if you are going to buy your new home and you're saying to yourself, I'm going to be there for 3 years, or you get into any type of trouble, you are going to need to compete with all the new homes being built in your area. So that's just something you should kind of focus in on as well too. But like I said, that's just something to think about. All right, let's go to some more questions. I'll let you go for that. Guys, if you're enjoying the broadcast, please splash the like button. I'd appreciate it. Okay. So I used to do these vlogs a long time ago, and I did this vlog on Fair Oaks. If you're looking for also some of those spots where you're looking for a little bit more bang for your buck, everyone loves Folsom. Everyone loves El Dorado Hills. I love Fair Oaks. I think Orangevale is a good spot if you're looking for more land, bang for your buck. Citrus Heights, Carmichael. I think those areas are really, really spots where you can get really, really good deal. You can get more land, established communities. Each one has $1 million homes. Each one has homes in the $500,000-$600,000 range as well too. No Melrose, no HOAs in a lot of the communities. Really nice. All right, I love this neighborhood. This is Curro Downs, I believe. There's so many mid-century. Where was this? Basically, this is Fair Oaks. In Fair Oaks, what you're going to get is a blend of everything. You're going to get the Curro Downs houses that are kind of single story, built in the 70s, really, really nice. You're going to also get the houses on Kenneth that are just these amazing older mansion kind of houses with a lot of land. You're also going to get houses like one of the areas I love, Phoenix Field, where basically you can get a nice community. Walkability is fantastic, close to an amazing park. Fair Oaks, you can pretty much get everything, which I love. You get also houses on the water. Really, really nice. Fair Oaks is one of those spots. If you guys are considering Folsom, but the price tag is too high, and you're saying to yourself, you know what other areas should we be looking at? I would pivot maybe to Fair Oaks. All right, here we go. In this kind of market, are Melrose costs negotiable, or are they set no matter what? No, Melrose are definitely set no matter what. There's just no way to negotiate those out. Right now in this market with new homes, what are things that are negotiable? Land premiums, solar, finishes on a house, closing costs, buying down your rate. Those are the things for the most part. But, the thing that's so funny is maybe about a year ago, the builder would not budge on the price point of a house. Now, I'll throw in this, I'll throw in that, but we're not going to talk about the price. What I've been seeing, which is a little scary for a lot of people who probably bought new homes, is I've been seeing not all builders, but a lot of builders actually reduce prices. Now, what is that going to do for our market? Well, that's going to probably piss off a lot of people. Honestly, if I bought myself a home for $1.4 million and all of a sudden I see that same home being sold for 1.2, I'm not going to be too happy. So that's another thing that I've been seeing in the market as well too. Hopefully it doesn't keep going in that direction, but yeah, Mellows aren't negotiable. And right now what I am seeing is that price point on a house, that's becoming more and more negotiable, which I have not seen. I don't know. I've been seeing it as of the last 6 months, a year with Lennar, but for the 6 months, builders that I didn't think would really budge on price point, they are now. So just be wary that that's happening right now in our market. New homes, negotiation on price is definitely possible. All right, best place to buy, any place other than California. And I get it, a lot of people don't like California, but I will tell you this, for the weather alone, California is the best place to live. And for the price and for what you get, if you want the California lifestyle, you cannot beat Sacramento. I'm telling you guys, if you love California, if you love the lifestyle that California gets you with all the hiking, biking, skiing, oceans, all that kind of fun stuff, and you're looking for a house that gets you everything, there's nothing better in California than Sacramento. And if you don't believe me, come out for a weekend and I'll show you exactly what I mean. All right, Sam, how you doing? Good evening to you as well too. All right, we're going to keep going, guys, and smash that like button for me. I'd appreciate it. All right, who likes river life in the Sacramento area? I keep saying at Sacramento, we created a vibrant river area, expanding Old Town. The place would be rocking. If they did that, Sacramento would just go crazy. I think one of the things I've seen is, if you guys have seen in West Sacramento, the pyramid over there, they're saying that they're going to be building another Kimpton Soy over there. Then all of a sudden the rail yards are going to develop by the water as well too. $3 million to go to Old Sacramento. If they developed out that river life, Pamela, that's for you, man, this would add a whole nother facet to why people love Sacramento. And it could happen. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, there's so many people who go goo goo and gaga about houses on the water in Sacramento because it's just a rarity. If we could do that and all of a sudden we could develop that whole waterfront out, Old Sacramento starts becoming like a spot that people actually love to go to, man, it could be amazing. Some restaurants on the water as well too. Yeah, I'm all for that. I think that would I think that would transform the landscape of Sacramento. For me, I would absolutely love to see it. All right. West Roseville is better for me because it fits with my lifestyle. I love Costco and I love to fly often. I can go to the Sacramento International Airport without going through downtown Sacramento. I love JMC homes too. Yeah. West Sacramento. I mean, you are like what? Maybe like 18 to 20 minutes from the airport. West Roseville. You're super close to the airport. I think that area, I think all the houses being built there, all the schools, you got the surf park being built there as well too. I think West Roseville is just phenomenal. I think JMC is a builder. I think they give some of the best standard upgrades, floor plans there are. JMC, I've never had a problem with any client moving into a JMC home. And I think West Roseville or Costco for the lifestyle, for the Amazon stores out there as well too. No, West Roseville is fantastic. I've also seen the West Roseville price point go up and up and up, which only means the demand for that area is growing. West Roseville, yeah, I love it. And when Placer One, the Placer Parkway connects into it as well too. Yeah, now, and you got Roseville Electric. Can't beat West Roseville. All right. When is Elk Grove Rancho Folsom Connector planned to be finished? What are they doing exactly? It's pretty good closer to Folsom, but once you hit Rancho, it gets rough. Yeah. Okay. So for the most part, I brought on Derek and we were talking a little bit about the connector. It's going to be a long project, but what you're going to see is there's going to be little pieces of it that are kind of being already developed, right? You're going to see those like intersections that they're creating. The connector project is going to be for a while. I mean, my guess, probably the next 6 to 7 years, if not longer than that. So you're going to see little pieces happen. And I get it. Like for me, I think once the connector finally comes in and the project is going, I think it's going to be nuts. I think there's also a lot of land to be bought to build out the connector as well too. But it's a project that isn't stopping. It's in continuous motion as well too. It's not one of those projects that you're just going to see disappear off the face of the earth. Derek is like dead set on getting this thing done. So for me, you can kind of see, where is it? Like he said on the East Bidwell area, you could see the connector where it connects after the new homes coming in. He said also there's another one that he said up in El Dorado Hills, like a little connector they put over there too. So now they just got to connect the roadways, but it's supposed to go all the way from Elk Grove through Rancho to Folsom up to El Dorado Hills. And if that happens, that again is going to change the landscape of the Sacramento area. But I don't want to give you guys completely secure, this is when it's going to happen, without talking to Derek a little bit too. But if that happens, you're not going to need East Bidwell to get you anywhere. By that time, all the commercial is going to be built into new Folsom, as I like to call it. And also that all that commercial and all that stuff being built into Rancho as well too. I mean, the landscape of Sacramento is going to be so much different. All right. Boom. Yes, I know. It'd be fun. All right, Sacramento River is dirty and smells like so for years. People should know this. Don't eat the fish from there. For me, I don't know. I've been there a bunch of times. I've gone to, where is it, like Rio Cafe. I've gone to the Crab Shack. I've never smelt it myself. I'm just being real. Do I look at it and say it looks like the cleanest river in the world? No, 100%. Have I gone to the Pocket and back before they banned the salmon fishing? Did I see people pull out like fish? Yeah, I saw them. I can't tell you 100% either way, but I can say one thing. I think that, I've been on like the boats there. I haven't smelt anything. I think it's a nice waterway. I think it'd be fun to develop it out into something that's another attraction in the Sacramento area. I think when you live in Sacramento, the more connections you have to water, like river, lakes, and all that stuff, the more it just makes you a fun spot to live. So hopefully they do something. Like I said, I can't go either way on this one. All I know is my experiences on the Sacramento River have been pleasant. That's it. All right. Boom. All right. Best place to buy, Auburn. You're laughing and you're giving me a heart. I like Auburn. I think Auburn's cute. It kind of reminds me of that, what is it? That one show, Northern Exposure. It reminds me a little bit of I don't know if you guys have ever been to Humboldt County. It kind of reminds me of that kind of Humboldt County vibe. Everything's green. Everything's really, really nice there. There's like a cute little downtown scene. I would say if you're someone who, you like Apple Hill, you like going to Tahoe, maybe you don't want to drive all the way up there, but you want to go somewhere that's kind of fun and exploring. I think Auburn could be a good spot for you. I like Auburn. I think it's fun. I think homeowners insurance could be a little bit of a drag up there if you decide to buy, but I don't know if you could find a greener spot to live in, maybe Newcastle, but Auburn is so nice. I like Auburn. Okay, insane. End of summer deals. Way overpriced location isn't the best. Yeah, okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you about these homes. It's going to be hard to find a home in Shawwood. I mean, they're just gunning like that Hazel up there. It's going to be hard to find that thing under $2 million. These homes, a lot of the ones, and you're right about the location. I mean, it's right there on the 50. You can hear it in the video, but they want to wheel and deal. And if this is the type of building for you and you like these homes and you like, Folsom, I'm looking at this and saying to myself, like, who competes with Shawwood right now? Maybe Woodside, the community right under it. But if you're looking for views, if you're looking for Folsom Ranch, on that side where the hills are, like everyone might say like, hey, Toll Brothers Preserve, but you have no view lots at Toll Brothers Preserve, nothing on the hill. So if you're looking specifically on Folsom and the hill and you're thinking to yourself, that's what I want. I want views. I want Folsom. I want that. Who do you have? You got Woodside, the first community, Trails, I think it's called. You got Shawwood. That's pretty much it. I mean, all the other communities that have amazing views are gone. I mean, Richmond American, the Bluffs, they're done. New Home Companies, they're done. Lennar's done as well too. So if you're looking for Folsom, if you want views, you either got Shawwood, you either have Woodside, the Trails, and I just don't know if you're going to see any more building on that mountain by any other builders but those guys. So just that's kind of what it looks like. All right. Boom. I'm excited to see new neighbors here in West Roseville. I encourage everyone to buy a home and live here. I think, it's the funniest thing. Every time I go to West Roseville, everyone seems happy. I can gauge the West Roseville vibe. Everyone's kind of happy. Like we just moved in a couple, a very cute couple into the West Roseville area, and we're actually we moved in two people to West Roseville area, two couples, and we have to bring in housewarming presents as well too. But they are happy, and for me that says a lot. I mean, we showed them West Roseville, we showed them all sorts of areas as well too, and they picked West Roseville out of everywhere. So proof's in the pudding. All right, boom. All right, next one, game changer. Can anyone tell me if living in California is like living in Texas? I'm in Houston and absolutely hate it there. I'm gonna say something. I think that Houston, there are probably parts of Sacramento, and not the weather. I mean, humidity in Houston. I would say pollution in Houston as well too. I would say the infrastructure is better in Houston than Sacramento. I'd say maybe Houston has a better nightlife for young people. I don't know. I would say as far as Sacramento goes, if California is just an awesome spot. I would never live in Texas. It's just not my style. I think California, if you're looking for hiking, biking, the California lifestyle, if you want to go to Tahoe, hour, 20 minutes away, if you want to have a community vibe, if you don't want to feel like, you need to tattoo your political party on your forehead, I think California is great. I think Sacramento is a great spot to live. I think as far as Houston, because I've been to Houston and it's like flat, humid, and it just seems like it goes on forever. Sacramento is not going to feel like that bad, but there are parts of Sacramento that I would say, as far as the topography, kind of looks like it. But then here's the thing, as far as like the Sacramento area, if you go to areas like Folsom, I mean, it's completely night and day from Houston. El Dorado Hills, Rockland, Roseville, completely different from Houston. I'd say the only area that I would say kind of somewhat resembles Houston is maybe downtown Sacramento, but that'd be me. What do you guys think? All right. Boom. Rent stabilized in Sac over the past couple of years. Do you think they'll go back up? I think right now what I've been seeing is, and this is a crazy one, a friend of mine named Ben, he actually rents out luxury homes. So the luxury rental market, I mean, you can't find enough luxury homes to rent at this point. I think as far as rents, I think they probably will start going back up. Here's kind of how it works, right? If interest rates go up, less people are going to be able to afford to buy, and then all of a sudden rents are going to go up. That's just kind of how I've seen it happen. Now, I think probably starting next year, spring is going to be a big telltale. If in springtime we're in the fives, I think rents are probably going to still stabilize. I think if all of a sudden interest rates, are still maybe 6.5 and demand is still slow next spring, I think rents are probably going to increase. That's my 2 cents. Oh, the other thing too to factor in is I've been seeing a lot of investors also jump into Sacramento. They're not doing it as much. But what I saw was when the new homes first started being built, like KB over in Folsom, what was it? Like, who else was building over in Elk Grove? I saw a lot of investors jump in, but as interest rates started to creep up, because remember, when you go to new homes, right, you're going to see like a KB home and it's going to say, oh my God, you can get a 4.99. That's not for investors. So back in the day when prices were just starting out in like Elk Grove and Folsom and everything too, I saw a lot of investors buy new homes. Now what I've seen is the smart investor, they're steering away from new homes because they're not seeing the advantage there, because they don't get those crazy interest rates, or they're they get, the most they can get is 2%. And so what I see is a lot of investors now, they're going into quads, they're going into like, that type of stuff. They're going into the resale market. Investors have definitely slowed down a little bit. Cash buyers, primary home cash buyers, I've seen that really do well in this market right now too. So getting back to what you said, I think that you're going to need to compete a lot with some of these new homes. Maybe not as much anymore, because the investors have slowed down buying the new homes. I think the reason why rents stabilized, especially over the last couple of years, is because new homes were so much more affordable and investors love the new homes. But I think now what we've seen is that a majority of the people buying new homes are primary home buyers, people who are buying them as their primary. So I think what you're going to see in the future is that if interest rates go up, you're not going to see that craziness of like an investor coming to Sacramento and buying 5 new homes. I think that market's over. So I think what that'll do for rents is if interest rates stabilize, like let's say 6.3, 6.4, I think what you're going to see is you're not going to see so many investors buying new homes. And I think investors are going to pause on Sacramento for a little bit, but I still think the demand to live in Sacramento is going to increase. I think maybe as of next year, if interest rates stay where they are, you might see rents go up a little bit. Hopefully that made sense, and I apologize if it didn't. All right. Boom. I live in San Antonio. And anytime someone complains to me about something, someone would say, at least you're not in Houston. I think that could be the comment of the night. Like I said, Houston is one of those spots, at least for me. Yeah. There, you couldn't catch me. I flew in there. I stayed there for a little bit. Yeah, Houston would definitely never be a spot I'd ever live in. Okay, absolutely, I agree. I spoke with folks from Lennar and Beezer. They said a lot of their smaller homes are popular with investors. Yeah, it is funny though. I would say right now though, unless, and like I just mentioned a little while ago, the prices are becoming a little bit more negotiable. I would say investors could actually jump back into the new home market if they start working with companies like Lennar, with companies that are willing to like maybe bring down the price point on some of these homes. I don't know, but all I know is right now we used to be flooded with investors looking for a brand new home. And as of the last 6 months to a year, majority of the people that we work with buying new homes have been primary home buyers. So that's it. Like I said, for me, if I was an investor, I get the fact that brand new home, less problems. But guys, like the Rosemont areas, College Glen area, you can get yourself a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the low 4s, no Melrose, no HOAs. And there's really not too much to those homes. The maintenance really isn't going to be that much of a pain, but that's just me. All right, let's get into some questions and we'll let you guys go for the night. If you guys are enjoying the broadcast, please smash that like button. And also, if you could, there's a new button that I've seen. It's called the hype button. It's by the like button. If you could hit that hype button, it would mean a lot to me as well, too. All right, boom. So getting back to this, can anyone tell me living in California is like living in Texas? I'm in Houston. I absolutely hate it here. We'll go to this one. I lived in San Antonio. And anytime someone complained about something, someone would say, at least you're not in Houston. So hopefully that answered your question. Okay, need Pulte in Folsom. Oh man, I tell you something. If Pulte started building in Folsom, Pulte would absolutely do huge in Folsom. For the longest time, Taylor hasn't had really anyone to just go toe-to-toe with, right? Taylor's been kind of the it builder in Folsom for a long, long time. And I love Taylor Morrison. Pulte is an interesting builder. Now, why? They build a good home. But the thing about Pulte that is nuts, that they do better than any other builder that I've seen, is they build these floor plans. They don't really increase too much the square footage, but they'll have a 3,000 square foot home and you can have either 6 or 7 bedrooms in the home. Taylor doesn't do it. Lennar doesn't do it. Beezer doesn't do it. Pulte's the only one who leverages more bedroom in their homes. Now you're going to feel like the house is squished. No, you're not. I've walked into Pulte homes, like these 7-bedroom homes, like 3,000 square feet. And I was thinking to myself, man, they're going to have to give up a lot of living space. But Pulte is really good about not doing that. So hopefully Pulte does come to Folsom. I think if they came into Folsom, I think they would kill. I think Pulte's a great builder, and I think they're definitely needed in other areas. I'd love to see them a little bit more in Elk Grove. I'd love to see them in Folsom. Where else would I'd love to see them in Rockland and Whitney Ranch. Oh, that'd be great too. All right. It is essentially impossible to cash flow from a single family rental bought with a loan today. Any investor buying now may not be an investor for long. I agree. And that's kind of what I mean. Like for the last 6 months to a year, we haven't worked with too many investors because it's just the cash. It doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people at this point. Now, for me, like I said before, investors love new homes. I love the resale stuff because I love the idea of buying a home that's in good shape with no Melrose and no HOAs near Sacramento State. Those things for me, like I said, you're not going to cash flow right now. But at the end of the day, I think if you're looking for something to put your money, rental income, you can still rent that thing all day long. All right, boom. If it wasn't for humidity, Florida would win hands down. But you got humidity. Here's the thing. Florida, not a big fan of Florida as well too. Don't know if there's anywhere in Florida. Maybe I'd visit Florida. Maybe, I don't know. But at the same time, humidity, oof. That just sounds, the humidity, even just thinking about the humidity in Florida really, really just Stresses me out. Wouldn't love that. Okay, the future of Northern California architecture in East Sacramento. Fun intro. Keep up the creativity. Appreciate it. We are going to be filming this house, and it's our new listing, and it's going to be coming to the market not Friday, but this Friday. It's a $4 million, like brand new custom modern home on the golf course, views of downtown Sacramento. So we're going to be filming some crazy videos for you guys too. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy them. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Are you kidding me? $4 million in Sacramento? Yeah, I know. This house defies the odds. This house is a house that you're going to see somewhere like in LA, somewhere in San Francisco. It's crazy, this house that we're listing right now too. So the videos are going to be on this channel. And I want to know what your opinions are about this house as well too when we do the videos. All right. Two different places, difficult to prepare. Tampa is more interesting, cheaper cost of living, and it has better beaches. So I'd probably go there. Hurricanes versus what? Yeah. Again, one of the things a lot of people don't consider also when they're considering like Florida versus California, hurricanes, humidity, flooding, home insurance. I mean, you guys think home insurance is bad in California? Try living in Florida. All right, Sacramento Republic's new stadium. The timing is off with the sound. If you guys ever hear my lips moving and the sound is off, please let me know. I'd appreciate any technical advice on these videos or any critiques. I take them and I appreciate them. All right, Sacramento Republic's new stadium. You guys are the best. Thank you for all you do. Keep us informed. Terrific stuff here. Appreciate it. Like I said, for us, it's all about bringing you guys a little bit more information about Sacramento, about the fun things that are coming to Sacramento. I am a Sacramento enthusiast. I'm the biggest cheerleader for Sacramento because I love the area. I love all the people that we've been moving in here as well too. Thank you for trusting us. And you know, like I said, it's been a fun ride for a lot of people. Sacramento is going to get better and better and better. And I do think that right now, a lot of people might go, Sacramento is not really affordable. Comparatively towards where we're going to be in like 5 or 6 years, we're still affordable. 5 or 6 years from now, 10 years from now, I think people who moved out of California, move out of Sacramento, aren't going to be able to move back in for sure. All right, boom. Let's go to the next one. All right, who's looking for some good new home deals used next year in Sacramento area? I think if you're looking for a resale home, what you've got to keep in mind right now is that the houses on the market right now are going to be the houses that, people want to wheel and deal on. I think spring could be that market that things kind of pick up again. So I'm not telling you to time the market, but I would say just be aware of your surroundings. All right. And say Northern California state that comes with its own private hill. Looks very old school. Do you have any construction house? Yeah, we have. Okay, so one of the things that we get hit a lot about is as far as lot sizes. Now, standard, we've been seeing some houses like in West Roseville, Juniper, Tri-Point, they're building like 7,000 square foot lots. Normally, that's like a very, very big lot for some of these builders. If you're someone who wants a bigger lot, you're going to normally see some of these builders like your Tri-Points, your Woodsides, that maybe have 1 or 2 houses with bigger size lots. Those are usually the ones that are most in demand. Where you're going to see mostly is that like in the Rancho area, 4,000 square foot lot. In Roseville area, about the median is going to be maybe like 6,000 square foot lot, maybe 5,000. So they don't build on too much land. I would say if you're looking for land, if you're looking for something like this, but modern, we've got custom home builders that can work with you, buying a piece of land, taking literally all the guesswork out of this for you. All you have is an iPad and you pick the finishes on your house. So if you're interested in custom homes, let me know. All right, who wins, Sacramento or Boulder? Sacramento, 81%. Gotta say, I agree with this. Who likes river life in Sacramento? Yes, 61%. All right, like that. What do you love most about living in Sacramento? The weather, the proximity to Tahoe, San Francisco, and Napa, the relaxed lifestyle. Now, for me, the weather, I think is okay. Proximity to Tahoe, San Francisco, Napa, I think it's okay. I mean, I like that it's there. I don't really go to Napa. I don't really go to San Francisco that much. I go to Tahoe maybe 6 times during the year. I would say I 100% agree with the relaxed lifestyle. If you're looking to get out of the rat race, if you're looking for a spot that's more focused on family, community, relaxed living, barbecues, hanging out with family and friends, Sacramento's here for you. Boom, best place to buy. Folsom, Elk Grove, Rockland, Roseville. Folsom, and the funny thing about Folsom is it's just got so much recognition. So many people love Folsom. Folsom 42%. Man. All right, better nightlife. Midtown Roseville, not sure. Midtown, okay, so if you're someone who maybe is in your 20s or someone who likes to go out and you're still that 2 in the morning type of person, Midtown's pretty much going to get you that. There's some little spots in Roseville, some little spots in Folsom as well too, opening up, and everything's going to somewhat develop and grow, as we develop and you know, things get built and everything too. But if you're looking for someone to move here or if you're looking to move here and you're saying to yourself, where is the nightlife? Where is that the heart of Sacramento's nightlife? Midtown, hands down. All right, who wins, Sacramento or Reno? That was a no-brainer. Reno for sure is going to be winning on that one. Now, before we go for the night, I'll get you my listing of the evening, and it's this one right here. It's in Antelope, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just under 1,400 square feet. This house has so much curb appeal, so cute. One of the cutest neighborhoods in Antelope. And if you guys are talking to me about affordability, if you're looking for something under $500,000, guys, this is, in my opinion, the best deal right now in the Sacramento area. And talked to the owner of the house specifically, and he said he'd be a little bit okay with negotiations on the price, maybe $5K reduction. So if this is a house you guys like, let me know. Other than that, guys, it's been an enjoyable evening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Smash that like button if you could. Hit that hype button as well too. Now on Friday, I'm going to drop a video of a house that's been reduced over $230,000. And then next Wednesday, I'll be here live. And like I said, we're going to be doing videos all tomorrow at this new home that we're going to be listing. It's going to be amazing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the broadcast. And hopefully if you guys are thinking about making the move to California from another state, you're making the right move. California is amazing. The lifestyle, the weather, the people, everything about California, I absolutely love. If you're thinking about somewhere in California that's affordable, that's somewhere that doesn't break the bank, that still gives you that California lifestyle, it's Sacramento. Bar none. There's not, how can I say this? Sacramento is affordable California lifestyle. California lifestyle, unfortunately, does come with a premium for the weather, for the access to beaches, mountains, snow, and everything too. But if I'm looking at California, I'm saying to myself, I want the California lifestyle, but I don't want to just, you know, buy a $2 million, 1,100 square foot condo. I want a house that maybe has a pool, nice backyard, good community where I can raise my family. Sacramento, bar none, is that spot. And I would definitely encourage people to come out, take a little bit of a look at California, take a look at Sacramento, and then start looking maybe at the Bay Area, start looking at Los Angeles, look at like various areas in California. And I will bet you come back to Sacramento because, again, I think Sacramento is the best kept secret for the California lifestyle in California. All right, guys, until next video. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video and this live show that we do every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. just for you. If you're thinking about making the move to the Sacramento area, we'd love to talk to you, answer any questions you might have about moving into Sacramento. And if you enjoyed this live show, please smash that like button, and any questions and comments you have, put them below. I'll make sure to answer them. We also have an amazing app too. If you're moving to the Sacramento area, you know, Zillow's been hit with all sorts of problems. We have an app that's actually better than the Zillow app. It's downloadable. In the first comment, you're going to see it. It's at the App Store. It's pretty amazing. It'll show you all the homes available here in the Sacramento area just for you. Now, like I said, if you're thinking about coming into the Sacramento area, or you're thinking about, or maybe you have just those questions about Sacramento, we have a Zoom link below. Hit that Zoom link and get on a call with us. We can answer all the questions you have, plan a fantastic tour, give you the pros and cons of the various areas and communities in the Sacramento area. Now, if you're someone in Sacramento and you're thinking about selling your home, guys, don't settle for those posts in the ground, cross your fingers realtors. We sell homes not only the old-fashioned way, but we also use YouTube, social media to sell homes, get more eyeballs on your property. We have the analytics to back it up. One last thing before I go, there's another playlist right over there of other videos I've done about the Sacramento area. Knowledge is power. Those videos will get you the knowledge that you need about Sacramento and answer some of the questions you might have about the area. Like I said, there's nothing that beats that Zoom call with us to answer all those questions you have. But like I said, some people just aren't ready, and those videos over there will help you get the knowledge you need about maybe the questions you have about the Sacramento area. All right, guys, this is Mark. Have a good one. Until next video.